Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is Ms. Darcie, and today we are on Lesson 3 of Graphic Design, the Youth Art Magazine project. Today we're going to talk about layout, and we will also look at some of the Google Slides tools that will help us with our creation of our magazine. So let's jump in. I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, here we are. Style and Google Slides tools. Style refers to the look and feel of your article. So let's think more about how you want your article to look. This will determine your style. What colors will you use? Where and why? You may want to select a background color. If you're going to add photos, think about how their main colors affect your design too. How does the choice of fonts and text size make your article more interesting to look at or easier to read and understand? Large titles or headings, bold type for important words or phrases, colored text to add interest or highlight ideas. To try out some styles, colors, and fonts, we will need to learn about the Google Slides tools. Let's look at the text box, copying and pasting text, fonts, font size and color, and shapes and shape color. For this lesson, you will need to read the directions carefully. You can always watch the video again to see how things are done. On the next slide, slide 18, select the text box tool, then click and drag to make a new text box. Type a few words in the box. And here you can see the example of selecting the text box tool. And when you put your cursor over the T up here, you'll see the word text box will appear as in the example. And we're going to do this exercise on the next slide, number 18. You can see on the left where it says 17, and we'll scroll down to number 18. And I made an example here, a text box with some just any letters just to kind of try out the text box tool. And so let's get the text box tool up here and come down into the purple area and move your cursor up to the top, and then click and drag to create your text box. And you can see the black cursor is flashing in there, which means you can now type in some letters. And I'm going to hit a few letters. I'm hitting the Enter key on my keyboard to go to the next line, and I'll type a few more letters. Now, as you can see, they came in rather small and dark letters on a dark background, so hard to see. So I'm going to select those letters with my cursor by clicking at the end of the letters, hold down the mouse, and drag my mouse across all the letters until you can see they're highlighted, a little bit of a gray background on them. And then I'm going to go straight up to where here it says font size 14, and I'm going to click on this box with my cursor, and you can see these different point sizes show up to help us make our text be larger. Let's try 36 points for this. There you go, that's quite a bit larger. And now, a little to the right of the font size, you'll see bold, italic, underline, and the next one is text color with the letter A. So let's change the color to something bright that's going to show up well on a dark background. So there we have bright yellow, and I'm going to even now click in the text box and select the bottom line. I'm going to hit B for bold, and maybe I'm going to change the color. And I can even go over here where it says font. Right now it says Arial, and I'm going to click the little arrow on the right hand side. And so then we see a lot of other choices of the fonts we can use. I'm going to select Georgia for my bottom line here. Now I'm going to click the mouse, the cursor, off to the side somewhere, either on the box or even on the blank space, to unselect my box. So now you can see I have text in a box with different color, font, and I've added also a line with bold text. So when you get your assignment, please create a text box and try this out for yourself. All right, next we have a little challenge for you. What I would like you to do is going to be to copy the text that has your article in it, and then we're going to paste that text onto the slide on the next page. So now we're on slide number 19, and on slide number 20 is where we're going to paste our text. So back to slide 19, we're going to look at these directions, okay? We're going to go back to slide 11, which is page number 17. That's where you created your article last time. And you're going to select the paragraphs by dragging your cursor through the text like this. And then while it is selected, you'll hold down the Control key, which is on the bottom left of your keyboard. Take a look and see if you can see this Control key on the bottom left corner of your keyboard. And while you hold that Control key down, you're also going to click or tap the letter C. So Control plus C equals copy. And I made a note of it down at the bottom here. And then we'll do that first, and then we'll come back down and paste our text using Control plus V. So first, let's just do the first part of this, which is to go to slide 11. So slide up your documents here, back to slide 11 in lesson 2. And this is where you have written your article. I'm going to jump back a page. This is where I put my article. So I'm going to click in my box here, and then I'm going to go to this selection area, this little, where the little flashing line is, and drag my mouse and my cursor down so that there's a gray background. That means it's selected. Now I'm going to go on my keyboard and I'm going to hold down the Control key, CTRL, and I'm going to click on C, press C one time, just one time. Click. Okay, so now I did Control C, and that means my text is copied. So we'll go back down to slide 20, where our assignment is today, and we're going to get a text box right here, and we will drag it so that it fits in this area. And now we're going to do the paste command, which is going to be Control, hold down the Control key, and then tap on the V. There's my article. Doesn't all the way fit in here. It's kind of close. I could drag my box up a little bit, and I can open my box so that it sort of fits in there pretty good. And maybe I'm going to select my text though, and up here where it has the font size, you can see there's plus and minus on either side. You can increase or decrease by 1 point here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to make it be 24 points. So now it's fitting better. I think I'm going to go to the top of my box and push it down a little bit so that it fits in there like that. So that's your assignment, is to go back to your article that you wrote, do Control C to copy it, and then return to this new assignment, slide 20, make your text box, and use the key command Control V to paste your text. So you can review the lesson by looking at the instructions here, and it describes how to do it, and it will remind you that Control C is copy and Control V is paste. So then you'll have your article pasted right here on slide 20, page 32. All right, here's how it looks like when I pasted mine. For an example, I pasted my text box twice. You can also do that if you want to try different fonts and compare them. And so in this example on the left, I have the font called Comforta, and it's in, it says it's in italic, but no, it's in italic. Italic means it's leaning forward, and it's 24 points. I can select my text and see that it says 24, and 28 for the title, and I made the title bold. And on this side, it's Meriwether font, 24 point, 28 points for the title, and again, the title is in bold. And you can see how the fonts look a little bit different. It's a style of text. Each text has its own style, and you can find those fonts by going to the top, looking for this font tool and then clicking on this arrow that points down to get all the fonts. There's more of them if you scroll down. And you can try out whichever ones you like. Try the selection and try to change the size of your text. And you'll notice when there's no text selected, you actually do not see the tools for the text. So once you go in your selection box, your text box, and make a selection, or even just having selected the box, then the type tools become available. All right. Now we'll look quickly at the shapes and colors. Let's work with shapes and colors now. On the next slide, you will click on the purple background box on the right to select it. Then you will see the paint bucket or fill tool. Click on it and choose a new color for the box. Repeat the steps to change the color of the pink background on the left side. So here you can see is this purple box that I'm talking about. It's here. When I select it, it has the blue boxes at the corners, which lets you also size the box, incidentally. And you can see in my screenshot example, the purple box is selected. So let's try this on the next slide. This will be your slide to work on. So we'll click on the purple background box on the right to select it. And then when we come up to the toolbar, just to the left of the fonts, we'll see this little paint bucket, which is called fill or fill color. And when you click on this, you can see that right now there's a check mark in the purple circle and showing you that your box is this color, purple. And if you'd like to change your color, you can select any of these colors that are already made, or you can come to the bottom where it says custom, and you can make your own color by sliding the circles around in the square and in the bar at the bottom. So say we wanted to make our square green, for example, and you can see the green preview here, and I'll say okay, yeah, green. And then I will go to the left side, the pink box, and I'm also going to change its color. Maybe I'll go with one of the pre-made colors of blue. Okay, so that's simple enough. Give that a try. Select the box, find the fill color that looks like a paint bucket, and give it a new color, both sides. All right, now we'll talk a little about the shapes. On the next slide, you will click on the Shapes tool, select a shape, click and drag to draw the shape. Okay, you can see the example in the screenshot here, and up above is kind of on the left, a little to the left, you'll see the Shape tool. It's like a little square with a circle on top of it. And when you click that, you have some choices: shapes, arrows, callouts, and equation. Let's start with shapes, and you put your mouse over the word shapes and you'll see all the different choices: rectangle, oval, triangle, and many others. So let's start with the rectangle tool, and we'll click on it. And that will give you the little crosshair, they call it. It looks like a plus sign, and it will allow you to make a shape. I'm going to hit the delete key to erase that shape, and I want to have you guys go to the next slide, number 25, to make your own shapes. So again, go to the Shape tool, click on Shapes, select, for example, the rectangle, and click and drag the cursor to make a rectangle. Then you can go to this fill color paint bucket and pick a different color for the square or the rectangle. And likewise, you can say shapes. You could pick the oval tool and make an oval and color it with the fill bucket. Make that one pink. And then one other thing you might want to try is when you want to make an exact square, a perfect square, or a perfect circle, you can do that by holding down the Shift key while you drag. So let's try that. We will go to the rectangle tool, click it, and then when we come over to this pink side with your cursor up in the left corner, you can click and hold your mouse down. And now also press on your keyboard, press down and hold the Shift key. Okay, and then drag the shape, and you'll see it comes out to be exactly a square if you do it that way with the Shift key held down. And again, you can make whichever color you like. And we'll do one more example to show you that. Oval tool, and you can lay the shapes on top of each other also. So say I start here, I click my mouse and hold it down. Now I'm going to hold down the Shift key and drag until I get the circle, and it's an exact circle. Now you can, again, add any color you like for that. All right, we'll give these a try. Try out any of the shapes you want to do. There's some interesting different ones. Here's a cloud, for example. And so that's how you use the Shapes tools. And you can experiment and try different shapes and see what might work well for your magazine article layout. All right, well, that's all we're going to do for lesson 3. And next week, we will come back and meet again to talk about design elements, and we'll talk more about the layout of your article. So I hope you'll join me next week, and we'll see you then. Take care.